I was just interrupted, and I don't really know how to continue, so we're just gonna pretend none of this ever happened. And I'm just gonna read from a random sentence on the page and hope it works out. The Earthmen parted the curtains and stood aside. The three passed in. They were in a beautiful room, richly tapestried, with a bright fire on a clean hearth, and red wine and cut glass sparkling on the table. A young man with fair hair rose to greet them. He was handsome and looked both bold and kind, though there was something about his face that didn't seem quite right. He was dressed in black and altogether looked a little bit like Hamlet. "Welcome, overworlders," he cried, "but stay a moment. I cry you mercy. I have seen two fair children, and your strange governor before. Was it not you three that met me by the bridge on the borders of Ettinsmore when I rode there by the young lady's side? By my young lady's side?" "Oh, you were the Black Knight who never spoke!" exclaimed Jill. "And that lady the Queen of the Underland?" asked Puddleglum in no very friendly voice. And Scrub, who was thinking the same, burst out. "Because if it was, I think she jolly well meant to send us off to a castle of giants who intended to eat us. What harm have we ever done her, I should like to know?" "How?" said the Black Knight with a frown. "If you were not so young a warrior, boy, you and I must have fought to death on this quarrel." I'm sure he doesn't stutter, so I'm going to start that again. "How?" said the Black Knight with a frown. "If you were not so young a warrior, boy, you and I must have fought to the death on this quarrel. I can hear no words against my lady's honor, but of this you may be assured, that whatever she said to you, she said of good intent. You do not need to know her. She is a nosegay of all virtues as truth, mercy, constancy, gentleness, courage, and the rest. I say what I know. Her kindness to me alone, who can in no way reward her, would make an admirable history. But you shall know and love her hereafter. Meanwhile, what is your errand in the deep lands?" And before Puddleglum could stop her, Jill blurted out, "Please, we're trying to find the Prince Rilian of Narnia." And then she realized what a frightful risk she had taken. These people might be enemies. But the knight showed no interest. "Rilian? Narnia?" he said carelessly. "Narnia? What land is that? I've never heard the name. It must be 1,000 leagues from those parts of the overworld that I know. But it was a strange fantasy that brought you seeking this. How do you know him? How do you call him? Billion? Trillion? In my lady's realm, indeed, to my certain knowledge, there is no such man here." He laughed very loudly at this, and Jill thought to herself, "I wonder, is that what was wrong with her face? Is he a bit silly?" "We have been told to look for a message on the stones of City Ruinous," said Scrub, "and we saw the words, 'Under me.'" The knight laughed even more heartily than before. "You were more than deceived," he said. "Those words meant nothing to your purpose. Had you but asked my lady, she could have given you better counsel. For those words are all that is left of a longer script, which in ancient times, as she well remembers, expressed this verse: Though under earth and throneless now I be, yet while I live all earth was under me. From which it is plain that some great king of ancient giants who lies buried there caused this boat to be cut into the stone over his sculpture, though the breaking up of some stones and the carrying away of others for new buildings, and the fillings up of cuts with rubble has left only two words that can still be read. Is it not the merriest jest in the world that you should have thought they were written to you?" This was like cold water down the back to Scrub and Jill, for it seemed to them very likely that the words had nothing to do with the quest at all, and that they had been taken in by mere accident. "Don't you mind," said Puddleglum. "There are no accidents. Our guide is Aslan, and he was there when the giant king caused the letters to be cut, and he knew already all things that would come of them, including this." This guide of yours must be a very long liver, friend, said the knight with another of his laughs. Jill began to find him irritating. And it seems to me, sir, answered Puddleglum, that this lady of yours must be a long liver too, if she remembers the verse as it was when they first got it. Very shrewd, Frog-face, said the knight, clapping Puddleglum on the shoulder and laughing again, and you have hit the truth. She is of divine race, and knows neither age nor death. I'm the more thankful of her for all her infinite bounty to such a poor mortal wretch as I. For you must know, sirs, I am a man under the most strange affliction, and none but the Queen's grace would have patience with me. Patience, said I, but it goes far beyond that. She promised me a great kingdom in Overland, and when I'm king, her most gracious hand in marriage. But the tale is too long for you to hear fasting and standing. Hi there, some of you. Bring wine and upweller's food for my guests. Please you, be seated, gentlemen. Little maiden, sit in this chair. You shall hear it all.